Subscribe to Smartphone Tutorials and hit the notification bell icon to get instant notification. Alright guys, welcome to another video, and this is what you looked at yesterday. This is what we are looking at today. This is Android 11. In the previous video you saw me install this particular ROM with Google Apps, and in today's video I will quickly install Gcam and I will show you how usable this ROM is. We will also go through some of its features that are available, what exactly works, can you actually use it for a day or two or not. This is the start to end for the first ever Android 11 based ROM for the K20 Pro on Smartphone Tutorials. But before we do all of that, please subscribe and hit that notification bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a video. Without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. My name is Kailash. Let's begin. Alright, so we are continuing where we actually left off. We were on the home screen in the last video, and this is where we are at right now. So first of all, we will talk about the bugs of this ROM towards the end of the video. First things first, we will check a few things. For example, the camera application over here, it works just fine, and as you can see, I am setting it up for the first time. And let me show you the front camera that it works. Yep, it's just a touch slow, but it actually works. So we have a version of Gcam that actually works on this particular ROM. Alright, so first things first, let's actually go ahead and install Gcam. So go to File Manager, and over here the OTG is connected. That means it is working fine. So we have a certain version of Gcam that actually works. So let's put this into list view mode. Okay, this is the one. Let's go ahead and install it. Now remember guys, this is Android 11 on the K20 Pro that we are using. So it won't take a long time to use, and it works just fine. So let's open Gcam over here, allow all the permissions. Okay, there you go. Okay, the front camera works just fine. Okay, over here if you go to more, you have all the options available, and in the camera mode as well you have all the options available. So as you can see over here, flash and all the other options. So yep, okay, let me just show you here real quick. So this is the normal lens, this is the close-up lens, you have night sight as well. Let's open the gallery app over here. There you go, and the picture quality is really good. Alright, so that was everything about Gcam. Now let's go ahead and actually have a look at the ROM. Now the way I want to put this video in front of you guys is we will go feature wise, like what are the daily essentials, what really works and what really doesn't. First things first, we will need a Wi-Fi. So let's go ahead and turn Wi-Fi on. Let's see if it detects my Wi-Fi network. Well, it does. Let's go ahead and connect it. There you go. So the connection for Wi-Fi is working fine. You have a new disconnect button over here, and if you go to advanced, you have auto connect, all the other options. So the Android 11 goodies as far as Wi-Fi is concerned are there. Now because we used G apps in the previous install and preview video, we do have Google Play Store available. Let me actually go ahead and see if it signs in just fine. Alright, so as you can see over here, we were able to sign into Google Play Store and it is working just fine. That is your normal Android 11 Play Store, and we can actually go ahead and download Google Chrome over here and see that it works just fine. So let's go ahead and hit install. Okay, now let's quickly actually go to settings over here and let's go to accounts. Now as you can see over here, if you go to account and sync, it is syncing contacts, people details and all the other options. So yes, that is a big relief because we have Gcam working, we have Google Play Store working. So these are two big positive things because you can use the ROM at least as a daily driver. Now as you can see over here, we do have the signal bars for Jio and Vodafone both. So dual SIM is working just fine. And if you go to network and internet, you might have to set the APN because this is the first build. And let's turn on mobile data over here. Let's turn on VoLTE. So voice over LTE is working. Now the surprising addition over here, which I'm pretty sure doesn't work, is Wi-Fi calling. So let's go ahead and enable it on both the SIM cards and we will actually do a reboot. But first, let's actually look at the access point situation. Bam, the access points are predefined, which is a good thing. So if you go to, let's go back. Let's go to the second SIM card and enable mobile data here as well. And then let's go to access point names. Yep, so it's a pretty stable ROM. For a first release, well, not exactly stable as in you can use it as a daily driver, but yes, it works great because almost all the options that I've checked till now are working just fine. And guys, we are just talking about the things that are working and not working. We've not even started with the features of Android 11 that we should be getting or we have already got in this particular ROM. So that is it. Now let's make a test call over here. Okay, so calling is working just fine. Now we did go to network and internet. Wi-Fi works, Bluetooth works, Bluetooth controls work just fine, data works just fine. So almost everything in this section is working. If you go to connected devices, as I mentioned, the OTG is working fine, so the USB part is okay. The Bluetooth connection is working fine because I did connect my Bluetooth earphones. And if you go to apps and notifications, you have priority conversations. Now this is an Android 11 feature which is already included, of course. If you go to notification, you can see the bubbles, which is something new. It's something reminiscent of Facebook Messenger bubbles, so that is built into Android 11. Notifications on lock screen, this was there earlier as well. So you have a lot of customization, not exactly customization, but Android 11 is getting there when it comes to the direction of the custom ROMs. Now if you go to battery over here, you have thermal profiles pre-included, which is a really good thing. If you're a gamer, you can decide what thermal profile you want. You now have a proper battery percentage as well, so that works. And if you go to display, there should be a lot of interesting things over here. Of course, you do have the dark theme. This is not the pitch black which you get on custom ROMs, but you can actually schedule it. Now earlier it was either day and night or always on, but now Google has included the option to actually go ahead and schedule it for whatever time you want. You have night light, adaptive brightness. Let's see if that works, and there you go. It works just fine because the brightness just went up. Now apart from this, you have auto rotate screen, font size, all the other options that are needed. Double tap to wake works, anti-flicker or DC dimming works fine. So in the display section, most of the things are working. In fact, everything is working. When you talk about the ringtone, the speaker works just fine. I don't see why you should not be able to use this ROM as a daily driver, but if you're looking for that, I will be telling you those reasons towards the end of the video. You have permission manager, all the other options available over here. And then if you go to system, you have gestures, one of my favorite parts. System navigation, there you go. You will get the pill over here. You don't have the Google Now feed to the left, of course, because you just have the Play Store installed. And as you can see, Google Chrome has been installed. And add account. Okay, this might be a bug. I did read it on XDA that this is a bug. Let's do a no thanks for now, and let's actually go to settings and sign into Chrome. It again takes me to the sign in screen. So let me see if I re-add the account, does it actually make any difference? So yeah, you cannot sign into Google Chrome. That is one problem. So there will be small bugs like these in this particular ROM, but apart from that, as you can see, I almost went to each and every option of settings. Now let me show you the novelty features over here. First of all, the new power menu. Have a look at this power menu. This is how the new power menu looks. It looks clean, nice, so that is great. Now apart from this, if you go ahead and take a screenshot, okay, now you have this new option over here, share or edit, and as you can see, you can actually select an application. For example, if you press and hold over here, you can pin that particular app with which you usually share screenshots with people. For example, for me, that is a WhatsApp. And let me tell you something very clearly, the notifications work just fine. And as you can see, you have a screenshot button at the bottom. Click on that and it takes a screenshot of that particular screen which is open, and you can edit that as well. Now if you have a look at the notification drawer, you have all these options available, but what is the big highlight over here is the screen recorder. Now what Google have done is amazing. The reason I say that, let me show you here. If I go and if I enable screen recording, this is the option that everyone has been looking for. Android 11 by default will allow you to record the screen, the game audio and the microphone audio. You don't need root access, you don't need anything. So for gamers, for streamers, that is a very good and interesting feature, but it is in beta right now. It is a first ROM, so the UI tends to get laggy because this is a first ROM, and I'm pretty sure the developers will fix this problem really quickly. But when you stop the recording and when you actually have a look at the UI fluidity and smoothness, it's actually amazing. This really marks a sign of a very good future for K20 Pro when it comes to Android 11 custom ROMs, especially when you have Google Play services and all the other things. Now what we're going to do here quickly is, because we enabled Wi-Fi calling, let me actually go ahead and restart the phone and see that after a reboot if Wi-Fi calling works or not. Okay, so the phone is back. Let's actually make a call from the first SIM card and see if Wi-Fi calling works. Yep, it still says calling via Geo, so that means Wi-Fi calling is not working right now, but that's completely fine because we do have almost all the other things that are working. Now we're coming towards the end of the video. Let me quickly run you through the bugs that are there in this particular ROM. One is SE Linux is still permissive, so that should be fixed soon. And before we end the video, your most important question: does Fingerprint Scanner work or not? So let's go to security over here, and let's add a fingerprint plus pattern. There you go. Okay, confirm. Okay, and as you can see, I am able to add fingerprint to this particular phone, and it is registering that just fine. I don't see any big problems over here. So let's click on done. Now one small bug over here, you don't have Fingerprint Scanner working on display off. So if you double tap it, there you go, it works just fine. At the same time, if I go to display, I don't see anything called as ambient display or always on display. But let me tell you this very clearly, Fingerprint Scanner works just fine. At times it might feel a little slow because this is an initial build. One of the other small bugs is that when you pull up the front camera, it takes almost a whole second to come up. But then again, it works just fine for most of the part. And as I mentioned, carrier video calling is not working and Wi-Fi calling is not working. But apart from that, I think this build is super amazing. This was sort of a quick review, first impressions for this particular ROM. Let me know in the comments section, how did you feel about this particular video? This was an Android 11 weekend. On Saturday, yesterday we installed it, and today we have a quick review as well. So please like, share and subscribe. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at Smartphone Tutorials. Goodbye.